so long. I haven't went live everywhere in so long. Okay. This is YouTube. Now, this is Facebook. No, wait. Sorry. I know you guys are already in here. And I am trying to go live everywhere. Let's see. All right. I think I got it, guys. All right. Just trying to go live on Facebook. Okay. Hi. Hi. I feel like I'm so close on here. I am streaming on Facebook, Instagram. I look sad. No, I don't. YouTube. Sorry. You know why I look confused? Because I was trying to figure out how to stream everywhere. Hey, Mr. CarLogic. Hey, Mr. Palant. Did I say that right? Okay, so I'm on Periscope, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. So if you've never been into any, my name is Celeste. I'm a therapist from Boston. And so a couple years ago, I used to go on literally Monday through Friday at the same time. You can't hear me? Periscope, can you guys hear me? You can't hear me, Fathead? Can anybody else on Periscope hear me? I might have to go back on again. Y'all know Periscope be acting up. Can you guys hear me? Or no, should I restart it? Maybe I'll restart it. You still can't hear me? That's not good if you can't hear me. All right, so maybe should I go back on and off? Instagram, can you guys hear me? Or I know you can hear me. All right. Let me see. Let me just restart Periscope. I don't know if they can hear me. I don't think they can. Fathead, can you hear me on Instagram? You could probably hear me on Instagram. Okay. So let me just restart Periscope really quick. Okay. All right, I'm going to restart Periscope. I don't know if Periscope's going to be able to see me today because I'm on Wi-Fi, so I don't know what's wrong. We can hear you here. Okay. I don't know what's wrong. I'm going to try it one more time. I'm on Wi-Fi too. Wonder if I should get off Wi-Fi. Yeah, I bet a bunch of people are on Periscope. That's probably why it's acting up. Because it's taking a while to initialize video stream. It's nice to see you as well. Let me just try to get off of Wi-Fi and just check. If not, I can't get on Periscope. I can't believe I can't get on Periscope. That's like my favorite place to be. That's gonna make me really sad. It's not letting me get on. All right, so what I'll do is I'll just leave it just in case. Oh, there it goes. Let me try it one more time. Okay, so mental health. So my name is Celeste. Like I said, I'm a therapist, and I used to come on a lot back in the day, and I started this podcast, so I kind of stopped going on as often as I did in the past, and I wanted to come on all week. So this week I'm going to be coming on at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time and then 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to talk about mental health. Oh my gosh, hi, I did not know that was you. Oh, that is so awesome. So excited for you. There's still no audio? All right, guys, so y'all are gonna have to come on the dark side. Y'all can come on either YouTube or Facebook. Maybe I'll say that because it has to be Periscope because everybody can hear me. Let me just say that. I'm going to end this broadcast and say that so that because I don't know why it's tweaking like this. Not sure. Sorry, guys. Why? I really did come on to talk about something, not to talk about my Periscope trouble. Not sure why there is no audio, but you can find me live now on where am I? YouTube, Instagram, or Facebook. Celeste the Therapist. Okay. So that's what we're gonna do because I don't know why it's tweaking like this. Celeste the Therapist. Okay. So hopefully, okay. Yeah, I know. I don't know why. It has to be scope if you guys can hear me everywhere else. So yeah, so I wanted to come on. I'm going to come on twice a day all week. I really want to talk about mental health. Y'all know, like if you've been in any of my lives before, you know how much I enjoy talking about mental health. So, and I really want to give people like some like practical tips to help them kind of think about how to stay grounded because it's so hard to succumb to the way that society has been, you know, is very chaotic for so many different reasons. So I really want to give people some practical tools that can really help them kind of shift the way they think. I know that's like my slogan, what I like to say, but it's real. I think that the way that we conceptualize things and the way that we think about things can really shift. Hey, Keisha, can really shift our mindset. Let me just send this to Periscope really quick. Periscope sound. I'm so used to dealing with technical difficulties, so I'm not gonna fold under pressure. I'm gonna keep trying to talk and do this at the same time. Because you know I've been doing this for so long, so I'm so used to it. Sound, but you can listen on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Celeste the Therapist. All right, Celeste the Therapist. Okay. All right, cool. So yeah, so I wanted to give you guys some like really practical tools to kind of help get through like some of the struggles you may have because I realized that even though like the medical stuff we can see, the mental health stuff we can't see. And I know that now when things are starting to ramp up. So like, for instance, let's just use anxiety. When it comes to anxiety kind of starts at like the smallest, think of it as a small seed. So anything that's happening right now in society will really cause you to feel very anxious. And if we are not coping with it, oh, I'm happy to see you. If we're not coping with it, we can definitely end up allowing that seed to grow into something bigger. A lot of people that are adults that struggle with anxiety, it typically started when people were very young, right? And obviously, it's not something, especially a lot of our parents or caregivers would not have known that this thing, anxiety, was growing inside of us. But when I always hear people's story, I can see how the anxiety began to develop. And a lot of it has to do with, instead of feeding our faith or feeding the questions that we may have had, the anxiety ends up being fed, and then it grows and grows and grows into something that starts to feel very uncontrollable and you're not able to control it. So I really want to really help people work on staying grounded despite like what's happening in society today. And if you think that because I'm a therapist, I am able to come on and say this stuff and it comes easy for me. It's not that it's easy for me. It's more so that I've been doing this for a long time and I really believe in what I say. I'm doing good. How are you? I really believe in everything that I say. And so that's why I'm very passionate about it, because it's really kind of helped me. It's really like helped me shift the way I think when I practice this. So you know what's going on today in society is the coronavirus stuff, right? I am not an MD. I don't know why it's on mute. Is that something that I don't know why it's on mute, but you can come on to the other side, to the dark side, and find me over here. Did I mute it? Is it something that I did? I don't know why it's on mute. I think it's Periscope. It's not me. You guys come over to like YouTube. Come over to the other side. I'm gonna figure it out tomorrow when I come on live. So when it comes to the like coronavirus and all of the things that are happening literally across the world, right? Which is why it's called a pandemic across the world. So I'm not an MD, so I can't talk about the medical things that are taking place when it comes to it. But what I can do is talk about the mental health stuff and how to take care of yourself during this time. So the first thing I want to say is don't forget to breathe. I think that a lot of times we hold our breath and we stop breathing, not literally because we could die, but we are not breathing and we are not getting air in our lungs. I didn't know Instagram was a dark side. No. No, because I started on Periscope. I never used to go live on any other site for a couple years. I only went live on Periscope. So I call everybody else the dark side. So yeah, number one, don't forget to breathe. That's important. Breathing is crucial. And I know there are a lot of like literal things in front of you that you may be worried about or struggling with that you don't have answers to. And I realize that. But definitely don't forget to breathe. The second thing I want to say about this, and this is important, this is really, really crucial, because a lot of times we'll tell ourselves that, social media is driving us crazy. The news, I see people say the news is driving us crazy. And I agree with that. But I also want you to understand is that you have power to unplug. And unplugging could be very, very beneficial around this time. And oh, shoot. Unplugging can be very beneficial at this time because there are so many different things that are being said that we have a struggle with filtering out. Remember, everybody everybody wants to be the first to break the news. So they're going to try and give you as much information as possible. Some of it may not have been fact checked, et cetera, et cetera. And not just the news. I think people, when you're panicky and sometimes we use social media to vent. And so as we're venting, we're seeing a lot of like sad things, depressing things, all of those things that are happening. And we don't even understand how much when we hop on social media and see all the bad things that are happening, we don't understand how that's affecting us when we are not in tune to our body. We're not in tune to our thoughts. So the first thing when you wake up, sometimes you may the last few days you may wake up and be like, is this a dream? Like, I can't believe this is really happening. I can't believe this is really happening. So it's important for you to get in tune with your body. And so understanding to limit the time that you're spending. I don't know why there's no more sound. Y'all can't read. I said, come over to the other side. Thank you, Liz. Liz, tell them to come over. They're like yelling at me on Periscope because there's no sound. I'm going to ignore them. I got it from you. So a lot of times we don't understand how much the reading what's happening and people sharing all of the hard things that are happening, we don't understand how much it affects us and how much our energy can change over time, over the course of time. So it's important for us to really take space to unplug. And if you feel, and I understand it's important to know what's going on, but we have to make sure we're looking at correct things. So the two things I highly recommend are the CDC website and your local government website. Those two are not they don't need ratings. Like, they're really giving you factual information. And one thing I understand is that, I know I told them already, One thing I understand is that because so many of us, especially people of color, we've been lied to and been steered the wrong way. It's really hard for us. Yes, yes. Hey, Liz, it's really hard for us to really trust what the government says. And it's not like whether or not you agree with Trump or not. It's not like we have the best leader um, who dismantles the pandemic office because he felt like they weren't doing anything, as if there's supposed to be a pandemic every other day, but that's another story. So if, things start from the top, even when you work at a job, if you have a really good boss, it tends to be that like your job your job space feels comfortable, you feel safe or whatever. Um, you feel safe. I'm going to ignore Periscope. Y'all need to read the caption. You feel safe. But, when we have the president that we have now, it's really hard to feel it, to know what is going on because of the way that he operates. And this is his pattern. So I'm not like surprised. I'm not like shocked. This is how he's always been about everything. So it's important to not allow it to stop us from doing what we need to do and not staying stuck in that frustration. Everything coming out from him is so confusing. It's so confusing. I know he's all over the place because it's hard for him to listen to experts. When you're a narcissist and you think you know everything, it's hard for you to even hear from people that really know things. And so that's why we have him kind of spitting out these random things. So definitely like the CDC. Please, the CDC. I can't express that enough. In your local government, whether it's your city or your state, definitely check out those websites because they do not need ratings for you to click on their website. It's not like that. So please, like that's important to do. So unplugging, that was the second thing. If you just joined us, what we're talking about is some like tools to help us like stay grounded and work through the anxiety or the depression or whatever we may be feeling right now around this stuff. Hey, Monica, around this stuff, right? So that's important. So one, don't forget to breathe. That's important. Number two, it's okay to unplug. I think that it's hard to unplug because the information just keeps coming, and we really want to know. It's kind of like when you ever had some like hot chips or something like spicy, and you eat it and it's so hot and you have to keep eating it. There's something that happens. Hey, Greg, that way it makes you like keep wanting to eat it and eat it and eat it. And I think when it comes to the news and all of these like really hard things, it's like, and don't forget the algorithm. Once you click on one thing that's like crazy sad, they're going to give you another story that's crazy sad. If you listen to something that's like super funny, if you're like somebody that is always looking at jokes or something like that, they're going to have a whole bunch of stuff lined up to keep you on social media, right? If you are watching a lot of stuff about the coronavirus and all of the tragedies that are happening, even though there are like a lot of tragedies happening, there's a lot of good happening. Everybody's not taking all of the food from the store. Like that's not the only thing that's happening during this crisis. But they're not going to tell you about all the good things that are happening or all the people that are trying to help, right? They're not going to share those stories because people, unfortunately, we are drawn to like all of the hard things that are happening. And I don't know what that is, but like we continue to get fixated on it. Hey, what's up, Andre? So that's number two. It's okay to unplug. Number three, take space to be with your thoughts. This can be very challenging. Even before this pandemic has taken place, we never really did this well, right? We never really did this well because we tend to like pick up our phone or do some activity that will allow us not to really like think about what's happening. That can be very dangerous, right? I get like sometimes it's beneficial because it allows you to disconnect, right? And some people have done that growing up, and it allowed them to survive, right? When you have been able to disconnect as children. But as we get older and we have a lot more responsibilities, we have a lot more things that are happening, a lot more people that's depending on us, is, you know, we cannot live our life continuing to unplug, utilizing phones or alcohol or whatever it is that you use that takes you to another space, and then you have to come back and it's the same problem, right? And sometimes it's more, because some of the things that we utilize to unplug, we tend to feel shame or guilt or whatever it is behind it, because it's just what we've done. We don't know any other way to do. So I really would like challenge you to think about other ways to work on the gap of trying to get in touch with your thoughts, or lashing out. Yes. Or lashing out. Yes, that's a big one. Lashing out is huge, unfortunately. And then it keeps us in this panic state. And whether we know or not know what's taking place, I don't understand how being in a panic state helps us, you know, and I don't want to make it seem as if I'm minimizing what's taking place. But the reality is that if I'm in a panic state, it's going to be hard for me to think clearly about the things that I need to do for myself or for my family, because I'm in this panic state. And so, you know, my goal is to help you like kind of shift the way you're thinking. And I really want you to think about like, how is me staying in this mindset helping me? And so if you want to work on shifting your mindset from not being panicky, and not being so full of anxiety, because when we're full of anxiety, we kind of make these impulsive decisions that don't benefit us at all. So just keep that in mind. And in order for you to like really work on understanding your thoughts, you have to take time to breathe. You have to take time to meditate and to really think about what you're thinking. That is very huge. And some ways to do that. So yes, being smart is important. So YouTube actually has meditation. So if you type in beginner's meditation, if you're like, what's meditation? I don't know what that is. I don't know what you talk about, Celeste. You can actually find a lot of different people that have created these meditation guides for us. And it will walk you through the process, right? So that's one way. Another way is walking, going for a walk and stretching and moving your body. That's really huge. That's something that you can do. And then another thing to do is waking up and actually not picking up your phone first thing in the morning. That's important to do. That's really important to do is waking up and not picking up your phone, because unless you're going to the CDC website or your local government, trying to stay off of social media first thing in the morning, because I think it's important to start our day with intention. If we can start our day with intention, and really like kind of scheduling it out, especially now everyone's like literally stuck in the house. Most people are in the house and unable to go out, and especially if going out has been your like coping mechanism, or always being around people has been your coping mechanism, and you're not able to do that anymore. Really thinking about creating a schedule for yourself to help you get through the day. And so right now, like literally you're probably going day by day, like what does that look like for you? So trying to have a plan is important. I wish I had the paper. I did one for my kids that I shared on social media, but definitely trying to create one for yourself as well. So that's huge. So those are the things that I really wanted to like touch upon for people, and for my parents, for people that are listening to me. Think about it. Kids don't understand the pressures that adults are going through, especially if you're worried about like bills or what are we going to eat or how am I going to get paid, et cetera, et cetera. Like there's so many like literal basic needs stuff that people are struggling with that that the kids are not really privy to. And so even though that's the case, I think sometimes, at least growing up, it was more like you're seen and not heard and not able to really express how you feel. And I think it's important to allow our kids to express how they feel. And so, for instance, like my daughter was like, man, I wish that this virus didn't exist. And I'm like, I know, you're right. Like, how are you feeling about it? And so allowing them that space to express how they feel, because this is really where anxiety starts. I think anxiety starts as children not being able to express how they feel, going through these different issues and not being able to figure out how to get through them. So talking, being honest with them. And the best example, like, how can I teach my kid to be mindful and work through and express how they feel? The best example is for us to practice it and model it in front of them, right? So the things that I just expressed to you in regards to making sure that you are taking care of yourself. If you're taking care of yourself, then guess what can happen? Your kids are going to see you taking care of yourself, and they're going to start to model that behavior, right? So if we're in a panic state, if we're always disconnected, or trying to be disconnected, or staying on our phone, or staying on social media, not really engaging with them, and practicing a lot of panic behavior, that's what we're modeling for them, and that's not fair for them. So not only will it be helpful to create a schedule for yourself, it's important to create a schedule for your children as well, so that they can have something to look forward to help them get through the struggle that they may also have. And also, can you move the virus and the cold out there? And please don't just keep your kids cooped up in the house. Yes, they need to go outside sometime. Yes. So definitely, if you can get them outside, even if it's for a walk. I grew up without any computers or phones, so I was always, you're currently doing that. I was always outside. You know, you couldn't come back inside. If you come back inside, you got to stay inside. And so people, what did we do? We stayed outside because, you know, the last game I remember was like Nintendo or Sega Genesis. And so, like, it's important to be outside. I realize it's hurting my family not to have a schedule. Yes. So having a schedule is going to be important during this time, because there's so many different unknowns. Mentally, it's very beneficial for you. And so, like, there should be time where it's like, let's take a time to stretch. Let's take a time to walk. For the kids, obviously trying to get some academic stuff in there, whether it's reading, whether it's writing about how you feel. My kids have these journals from the dollar store, notebooks, and they write in it. They write how they feel. And that's a great start. And so kids like structure. Believe it or not, kids need structure. They really need structure. So believe it or not, if you are saying like, well, all of this is out of my control. Like, I don't know what's going on. How am I supposed to stay sane or safe during this time? I would really challenge you to think about the things that we just kind of discussed, right? So not to forget to breathe, creating a schedule, unplugging from social media. If you want to stay up to date, really just kind of looking at the CDC website and the local government website. People are going to text you things. People are going to share things. And what ends up happening is so many people are in panic. And guess what? They're vomiting all of that panic onto you guys, and you are allowing it. You're allowing it. I can't express it any other way. And so if you want to help your children, you got to help yourself first, right? You know, when you go on the plane, they tell you to put the oxygen mask on your face first before you help somebody else. And so, like, I would really challenge you to do that for yourself. Like, put it on yourself and deal with what you're struggling with, so that when you are dealing with your children, you can help them cope through it. So I hope that was helpful. Does anybody have any questions? I have a podcast, CelesteTherapist.com. You can find it anywhere on any streaming platform, any podcasting platform. Literally every single episode is geared to help you shift the way you think. I talk to people who are doing things to empower other people. I also have these like short episodes where I talk about different issues and I talk about ways in which we can deal with it. I like to think that I'm planting a seed when I'm having these conversations on podcasts with people, because I realize that, there's so many things that we were not taught. There were so many ways in which we have been operating in life that does not benefit us, like at all. Nothing benefits us. And so because I realized that this was the case, I decided to initially just be on Periscope, come on social media and kind of talk about these things that we're dealing with and ways in which we can like work through them. And then like I started the podcast, and I was able to bring other people on that was able to share their story and talk about what they've been dealing with. And so that's how like this whole thing started with me coming on live and creating the podcast, is because I want you to see the power you have. And I think a lot of times we leave our power into somebody else's hands, right? We think, well, if they treated me better, or if this happened, or if they didn't show this, or if that didn't happen, like I would have been okay, right? And so even though that is true, like that the things that has happened has affected you, it's like, what are you doing right now to change the narrative of the story? And so that's why, like, when I have these people on that are sharing their story, or when I'm talking about an issue that we all go through, it allows you to say, well, I don't really have to wait for somebody to say sorry, or I don't have to wait for somebody to change the narrative. Like, I can work on changing the narrative. And the only way that happens is if we start to see the power we have inside. Like, so many of us don't know the power that we have inside, and that's why we struggle. We give all of our power away. Why do people just start watching? This could also be a good time to reset and get healthy. Drink lots of waters. Yes. That's another thing too, like Keisha on Instagram. So I'm streaming on four different sites. But this is another time to reset. I know it wasn't planned. This wasn't a planned reset time for you, but we can use this as a reset time for us to really start to like getting in tune and in touch with ourselves. Just because we're stuck in the house does not mean the only thing that we have to do is just like be on social media. Well, I want y'all to come and see me. I mean, I want y'all to come and check me out so that we can talk about mental health. But we don't just always have to be on social media and just scrolling and looking at things because it's not helping us, right? What we really need to do is we really need to create a plan for ourselves that can really help us get through day to day. I think that's huge. You are amazing. I give you shit, but yeah, thank you. I know you give me a lot of crap. Um, I'm using it to reset. It's making me pay more attention to my health interests. Yes, Alexis. Hey, Alexis. Yes. So it's like forcing you to like pay attention to what really matters, right? When I think about like when Kobe passed away, and I remember how everyone was like, yeah, love your loved ones a little bit longer, and like, people started to reset. Now we literally forced to love our loved ones and be all up in each other's face, and everybody's like, oh, this sucks. And so like it does suck that we're forced to do this, but we have to be mindful of like we literally just have today. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, but I know what's happening today. And I know that today I have time to be with my family, right? And so like it's important for you to cherish those moments, because there's something about the way our mind operates. It will have us just thinking all negative and being in a space that doesn't benefit us like at all. And so because I know this fact, right? I know that our mind will take us to a space that will not allow us to look at the other side, like the beauty in the struggle. And sometimes the beauty in the struggle is just a little dot, but it's important for us to like pull it out. If we can pull out the beauty out the struggle, it'll make the struggle a little less hard, right? It won't be so hard. It won't be so challenging. And the way that works is if we start to shift our mind and start to think about things in a different way. And that starts with you, right? It starts with listening to something like this, listening to the podcast, right? Meditating, changing and resetting and exercising and really like nourishing your body. A lot of times, like when we're struggling, it's like, and I say, like, if you're hungry, you never be like, oh, I'm hungry, what should I do? You got to eat some food, right? And so when we're struggling, like spiritually, if you're a spiritual person, or if we're struggling mentally, right, and we're full of fear and we're full of all this anxiety, like my question is, like, what are you doing to feed your spirit? What are you doing to nourish your mind, right? How are you feeding your brain? Are you feeding it with fear by being on social media and looking at everybody in a panic state? Because that's all you're doing, you're feeding the fear. Or are you feeding your faith? I'm feeding my faith by creating these boundaries, by not like answering massive text messages of people who are giving all of this like stuff that, may not have been fact checked, or everybody who's sharing a lot of stuff that doesn't help me, right? It hurts me. So that's how you feed your faith, is by those boundaries, is by taking care of yourself, right? So that's something that's important to understand. So I hope this was helpful. I'm going to be on this week, 8 a.m. Eastern time and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I just wanted to get the times right. 8 a.m., 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll be on. Thank you for this live. You are so welcome. So CelesteTherapist.com, and then so I'll be on every day this week. I'll answer any questions about mental health, any questions that I can, and allow you to ask questions and then kind of give information again about mental health. I'm not a doctor. And I'm just trying to, we got to schedule. I know we got to schedule. I ain't had a schedule in so long. We got to schedule though. So yeah, I just kind of want to help people get grounded as much as they can, and work on it. It's a day by day thing, right? I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I don't know if I'm going to be here tomorrow, but I know I'm here today, and so I got to be in the moment. So I'll see you guys in the morning if you're going to be here in the morning. But I like giving homework assignments to my people. So Liz, you can hear me over here. I like giving homework assignments to my people. So like, if you guys want an assignment, you guys going to be here either in the morning, tomorrow, or in the evening. One thing I want you to do is, when you get off of this broadcast, is to create a schedule for tomorrow. If you have children, create a schedule for your children as well. For your child, just create it for Monday. You don't have to do it all week. Don't overwhelm yourself. If this ain't something you ain't done before, you ain't got to be all extra with it. And I'm doing it like day by day. I'm just not, thank you. I'm doing it day by day, right? So create a schedule yourself. I can look for like examples of schedules too, to show you. Do that. If there's like a hobby or something that you wanted to learn, you can research that, right? I don't know what your life is like, but think about all the things that you say you want to do because of fear. Like, I want you to think about that and start working on like creating just think outside of the box, right? Just try to think outside of the box, and get in touch with yourself. So create a schedule for you, create a schedule for your child. And I want to hear how it goes. I want you guys to let me know how it goes when I come on this week. If you want to follow me on any social media site, I'm on Periscope, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and all of my podcasts. Wherever you listen to podcasts, you can find it. You can go to CelesteTherapist.com to find the all of the platforms. So I'm going to say bye to you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I think it is Periscope, but hopefully it's fixed tomorrow so I can see my people tomorrow. I'm going to say bye to Facebook. Bye, Facebook. I'll see you guys tomorrow. And then I'm going to say bye to Periscope since y'all can't hear me anyway. Bye, Periscope. Bye Instagram. I'm gonna say bye to you, Instagram. This only stays on for 24 hours. That's why I'm gonna be good. But Instagram came through for me today. Instagram really came through. All right, let me get off of this and say bye. And now, and then share story. And then I'm gonna say bye to YouTube. All right, bye YouTube. I will see you guys tomorrow if you come on. All right, let me end this. Okay.